Have you ever wondered what happens when betrayal meets true genius? Not the cold genius of calculations or inventions, but the kind that's forged in the fire of pain. The kind that doesn't forget, that doesn't forgive, that waits. I know what happens. I saw it. I did it. My name is Ethan Cole, and this is the story of how the woman I loved and the man I trusted most took everything from me, and how I made them beg me to stop. London is always gray, but that day it was more than just the weather. It was an omen. Rain streaked against the loft windows, scratching the city as if it wanted to erase it. I was on the couch, coffee cup in hand, watching life pass without me. Then the phone buzzed. Unknown number. A short message. You need to see this.
Hey guys, welcome to our channel.
For some reason, I didn't hesitate. The video opened with the sound of waves. I recognized the music in the background. La Donna A Mobile. The camera was focused on a hotel balcony. Charlotte Hale. Even from a distance, I knew every detail. The messy bun, the blue silk dress, the way she tilted her head when she laughed. And next to her, Jonathan Pryce. It wasn't a quick kiss. It was a dive into intimacy. His hands on her waist. Her smile afterward. The kind of scene you only live when there are no secrets. The video skipped ahead. Inside the room, on the table, documents with my company logo. My stomach turned to ice. That night, the phone rang again. My lawyer. Ethan, they've pushed you out of the company. What do you mean pushed out? There are signed documents from you. Resignation. Transfer of shares. I never signed anything. I know. But the paperwork is official now. You're out. Jonathan had taken control. Charlotte was on the board. And I had nothing. The next 3 weeks were a blur. Curtains closed. Coffee and whiskey instead of meals. I'd sit on the floor, staring at the papers for my old company like you stare at a body in the morgue. It wasn't just losing the job. It was how they did it. The surgical cruelty. They didn't just want to replace me. They wanted to erase me. That's when the pain began to change shape. It began to sharpen. I didn't just want to get back what was mine. I wanted them to crumble. And no, it was because of me. It was in a cafe in Notting Hill that I first met Isabella Moretti. Italian, investigative journalist, eyes like dark glass, beautiful, but impossible to see through. She walked up to my table without asking. You're Ethan Cole. Depends on who's asking. Someone who knows Charlotte Hale and Jonathan Pryce aren't just traitors. They're criminals. She had been digging into a tech industry corruption case. I had the missing piece of her puzzle. We talked for 2 hours. She was sharp, direct, unafraid to say she wanted blood. That's where the alliance was born. Me, the ghost who knew every dark corridor of Cole and Pryce Innovations. Her, the invisible voice that could turn secrets into headlines. 6 months. 6 months of pretending to be two people. The Ethan who showed up smiling at cocktail parties, sipping champagne with strangers. And the Ethan who, in the dead of night, combed through bank statements with Dmitry, a Ukrainian hacker who owed me old favors. Isabella infiltrated conferences, pretended to be an investment consultant, secretly recording Jonathan bragging about his government contacts in Europe. Little by little, the picture became clear. Offshore accounts in the Cayman Islands. Bribes to board members. Charlotte as the mastermind.
There are invisible scars that shape lives. Abuse steals your peace, but not your strength. Breaking the Cycle of Abuse is an interactive guide where you'll find powerful tools to identify the signs of abuse, understand the dynamics of violence, find shelter and legal and psychological support, plan a safe exit from a harmful environment, overcome trauma and rebuild your self-esteem. Start your journey of healing and transformation now for just $9.60.
I could have destroyed them already. But no, not yet. Testing their limits would be fun. One day, a key investor received an anonymous, concerning report about irregularities in the European contract. The following week, an important meeting was mysteriously postponed. Charlotte started showing up at events with dark circles under her eyes. Jonathan drank too much at receptions. They didn't know it, but the war had already begun. Fate is a cruel comedian. The final contract was to be signed in Venice, the city where my downfall began. The air that morning was damp, smelling of salt and ancient stone. Gondolas cut through green waters, and the bells of St. Mark's Basilica rang like a countdown clock. I wore a dark blue suit, black tie. Isabella blended in with the journalists. Dmitri, in Ukraine, was ready to trigger Operation Stained Glass. Jonathan took the stage, rehearsed smile, leather briefcase in hand. Charlotte, flawless in a red dress, by his side. The big screen behind them flickered. First, numbers. Then, emails. Then, audio recordings with unmistakable voices. If they want the contract, they'll have to pay. Jonathan's voice. I handle the contacts. You sign. Charlotte's voice. The room erupted into chaos. Investors shouting, reporters flashing cameras, security trying to cut the feed. But Dmitri had already sent it to every major paper in Europe. Charlotte saw me and knew. Jonathan was arrested in Geneva 2 months later. Charlotte was banned from any corporate board. Coal and Price Innovations was sold for pennies. I didn't want it back. I built something new with Isabella. Revenge didn't bring me peace, but it brought me silence. And sometimes, that's enough.
Want more mysteries, twists, and exciting moments? So you can't miss this video. Click now and continue this journey of fascinating stories. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and activate the bell so you don't miss any news. Leave your comments and see you next time.